What's up, metalheads? The Strong Boys 19 here, and we are back into the Death discography once again. So, I have reviewed the other 6 albums from the discography, so it's time for me to do the review on Death's 7th and final studio album, entitled The Sound of Perseverance. Now, The Sound of Perseverance came out in 1998, and it is basically the follow-up to Symbolic, which came out 4 years ago. And ignore that bloody lag from my blooming webcam. God, it's a bit of a bitch at times. So yeah. So a lot of you guys might be wondering, or asking me I should say, which is your favourite Death album? That is an easy question, because this is it. This is my favourite Death album, and this is the one that started it all for me to become a fan of the band, because of how amazing and fantastic this whole album really is. This is the album that really got me into the band, and it's just like Maiden Slave, one of my fans and subscribers, because he got into the band just because of this album. I really enjoyed this album. It's just really fantastic all the way through from start to finish, and I just highly recommend it for those who did not listen to this album, because they really need to. And you know, The Sound of Perseverance is basically one of my favourite metal albums of all time, and this album continues the more progressive type of side than the technical death metal side. Shows the more progression and the less technical death metal pieces, as when you listen to the whole album from beginning to end. So throughout Death's entire career, the music had been different throughout the years. You know, albums, the first 3 albums, Scream, Bloody Gore, Leprosy, and Spiritual Healing, those albums have the same feeling of, you know, thrashy guitar riffs and roaring vocals and just fast drumming. So those albums are just, you know, pretty much death metal, but with some cool thrashy riffs. And then from Human to Symbolic, those albums have the music changed, because Death basically just wants to make some new cool creativity, and those albums really just express a more different side from their entire experience while they're making their own creativity. So Chuck is still continuing songs from here on out, from Scream, Bloody Gore all the way to The Sound of Perseverance, in different type of ways and different sections. Chuck is really making his music a lot more different in this one, and his music was different since Human to Symbolic, but in this one he just makes the music for this album more progressive than technical death metal. You know, like I said in the previous album reviews from the discography. So I think Chuck's creativity improved simply at best, and more better. This album for me is really dark and just technical for these progressive parts. When you just listen to these awesome parts of the catchy elements of the verses, and even the smooth choruses and the awesome interludes or middle parts or whatever. So Chuck is making his riffs, you know, more different, fast-paced type of riffs with a lot of more harmonization, with fantastic improved type of solo shredding licks everywhere. And his vocal style on this album is really different. because in his previous albums, his vocals are more aggressive and just more, really more raw when you listen to the other previous work. So the vocals from this album are more of a higher octave, higher pitch with a screechy type of vocals, and it really reminded me of the screeching vocals from Danny from Cradle of Filth, because his vocals on the music are just really just strong with his screechiness and his high pitched screams, etc. Some of you guys are not going to be expecting a different type of vocal style. Some of you guys are just, expecting the whole epicness of Chuck's vocals are just really raw and just proper shouty type of metal vocals. The drumming is just wow. The drumming fills and the drumming skills are just more better, and some of the fills and beats really reminded me on the album Symbolic. So yeah, the bass guitar sounded, in my opinion, more better, sounded really more clear and more crisp, and it's just like the bass from Spiritual Healing and Human, etc. There's been a lot of different tempo changes involved, and there's a lot of memorable parts from some of the tracks, like the introductions on a few tracks, like the drumming from Scavenger of Human Sorrow, and the awesome shredding lick from Chuck on Flesh and Parrot Holds, and the smooth, beautiful sounded acoustic guitars with the amazing harmonization and solo licks on the electric guitar on Voice of the Soul. So this is just really a fantastic album, and the production sounded really, really brilliant, and I just love the sounds on the guitars, really more fresh and thick at times. Yeah, the sounds on the drums is just, amazing. For some reason, I just like the sound on the snare drum and the bass drum, and the cymbals sounded, really beautiful, just like proper cymbals. Everything from the musicianship, the creativity itself, and the whole song structures and everything else, for me, is just a lot better than the previous albums that Death had done. So that basically is all I've got to say about The Sound of Perseverance by Death, and like I said, definitely check it out, and I'm going to give this album a big 10 out of 10. Thanks for watching, guys, and that's my whole album review discography from Death, and I just love Death a lot. Rate, comment, and subscribe, and keep it metal, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? The Strongboys19 here. Lagging webcam again. Son of a bitch. We are back, and don't bother with that. Daughter of Vampire from YouTube, aka Heather, is just texting me on my phone, so it's none of your business. Since that, the lagging webcam's not gonna work! This album, to me, it... Shut up! Why do you have to just ride past with your stupid motorbike? Distracting my fucking review! Sorry, guys. Reminds me of Maiden Slaves part from his Even Back to Life review. God. It's hot today. This album is basically one of my most top favourite metal albums of all time. Besides Metallica's I became a fan of the band since then by listening to all of their... So, I'm going to be doing the review on Death's 7th and final studio album, The Sound of Perseverance. If you are looking some albums up that have a lot of really good, awesome metal parts... So this is... What's up? What's up, metalheads? The Strong Boys 19 here. Fuck's sakes! So that's all the bloopers out of the way. I hope you enjoyed them. Now, onto the shout-out request for Richard, aka 666 Slipmaiden 1. He's one of my fans and subscribers, and he's just one of those people that really idolizes and loves my channel as always. So he's just amazing to me, and we've been talking to each other through Facebook. And check out his channel, please, because his video views on a lot of his videos are terribly low. Less than 10 views, which is kind of a shame. So give this guy more support, more video views, and subscribers if you can. To all of my fans and subscribers for my channel, the link is in the description at the bottom of this video. Richard, if you're watching this, I hope you enjoy the shout out. You're just really great, supportive, and just really just outstanding. Just like the other subscribers and fans out there that just love my channel. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll keep you posted for different reviews in the future. So, rock on.